Okay, so thank you for turning into Stick-It-To-Me. As you know, Stick-It-To-Me is a 100% biodegradable, non-toxic interventional spinal training model that was invented by LSK Enterprises and will be utilized to train residents and fellows on interventional spinal techniques. We are now going to go to Clarence, the cervical Stick-It-To-Me model, and demonstrate how we can do cervical injections. Here's the picture of Clarence. As you can see, we have nothing. You can't see anything through here. That's the real world. The only way you're going to see something is if you use a fluoro machine. And here we are. There's Clarence. As you can see, we have the base of the skull. We can do any type of facet joint injections, and we can do epidural injections. We can do it from a posterior approach. We can do it from an oblique approach, a lateral approach, any way you want to do it. All you got to do is rotate Clarence. Okay? You rotate Clarence, you give him a little support, and you can do a lateral approach into your zygapophyseal facet joints up in the cervical region. Clarence is really easy. Our Stick-It-To-Me Clarence, he's comfortable in any position. We don't have to worry about it. But for this demonstration, we're going to sit there and demonstrate how to do just a basic posterior approach to the zygapophyseal joints. We'll also demonstrate how you can do a cervical epidural. And then what I'm going to really show you is we're going to flip Clarence over onto his back, and we're going to set you up for a cervical transforaminal injection from an anterior oblique approach. So what we're going to first start off with Clarence is we're going to take a posterior picture, okay, just like we would do in the human body. We have to do it under live x-ray, and we're going to just line up his zygapophyseal joints. The way you would do it, of course, is you're going to oblique it, okay, or actually you're going to tilt it, cranial caudad, more caudal approach for the posterior approach to the zygapophyseal joints. As you can see, I have rotated it so that his zygapophyseal joints are lined up. I'm going to then come over to the other side and demonstrate how we can go into those zygapophyseal joints utilizing Clarence, our Stick-It-To-Me cervical model. Okay? Under fluoroscopy, I'm going to advance to see where I have my zygapophyseal joint. As you can see superiorly, I am just above it and then laterally. And that radiolucent line is the joint. I have it now marked on the skin, and I'm going to advance my needle underneath the skin. Just like in a human, just in a cadaver, this biodegradable, non-toxic spinal interventional training model holds my needle in place so that I can then adjust it under fluoroscopy. As you can see, that I am lined up in the midline of the pillars, and I will slowly advance into the zygapophyseal joint. I will sit there and go down, then the needle will go down. I will then rotate my bevel, just like I would do in a human, 180 degrees, advance it, and my needle goes up. I have contacted bone, okay? And just like in a human, since you can't see through it, you never know your depth until you contact bone. Remember, bone is good. It lets you know where it is. So now we're going to sit there, I'm going to come back because it looks like I'm a little bit inferior to where I want to need to be. So I'm going to come back a little bit, and now I'm just going to advance it down, going with the bevel up. Okay? It did move, just like a human would, so I have to come back a little bit further. And now I'll advance it. And now you can see that we're going a little bit more superior into that joint. And now I'm just going to do a little tilt, because I don't want it to go up, but I'm going to do a little tilt medial. And now I'm going to do a little tilt lateral until I contact bone. And now I'm on bone. Now we're going to go to our lateral to check how we can advance into the cervical joint. So I'm going to put it on pause, and then we're going to go from there. So, okay, we're at our lateral view of Clarence, the cervical Stick-It-To-Me interventional spinal training model. And as you can see, we showed you in the past our AP version, and you can go look at that, and I am into that 3-4 zygapophyseal joint. If I wanted to sit there and be a little OCD, I can manipulate my bevel, come down a little bit, take a picture, and boom, I'm sitting right in the joint. Okay? This is exactly like what happened in a human. This is what you can sit there and do with Clarence, our cervical Stick-It-To-Me model. for your zygapophyseal joints. It holds the needle in place just like a human body would. It allows you to direct the needle under the rule of the bevel just like a human body would, but you don't have to worry about any of the toxins on your cadavers or anything other than a biodegradable model. So we can do that for higher joints, we can do that for C2-3 joints, we can do that for every joint that we want to. As far as the epidurals, we're going to go to an epidural, and I'm going to set that up in a minute and show you how you can do an epidural.